You ever see an ad just once and remember everything about the brand, the offer, and where to buy it in perpetuity? Yeah, me neither. Our team here at Aduro audits countless CTV campaigns every month. So today, we're going over one of the biggest and most common mistakes we see advertisers make when it comes to CTV. One of the biggest mistakes we see in CTV campaigns is that they're spread way too thin. There's a reason you don't see apartments attached to billboards on the highway. They don't swap the ad out every hour so someone doesn't have to live up there full time constantly swapping out the ads. Just like every other form of advertising, billboard companies know you need to see that ad enough times for it to have any lift. So they leave it up there for weeks, if not months at a time. That way, people on their commute every day go from driving by the billboard to recognizing the billboard to starting to remember the brand and the ad itself. And that takes time. There are varying opinions on how many times a consumer needs to see an ad before it takes effect. The most universally known rule is the rule of 7, meaning a consumer has to see the ad at least 7 times before they take action. Here at Aduro, for example, we take that rule one step further and build our campaigns to be highly focused on precise and consistent frequency across households. While it can vary on a number of different factors, our data suggests that anything below a 2 times weekly frequency is going to drive poor results, if any. And we typically see the best results around a 3 or 5 times weekly frequency. But for some reason, we see countless CTV reports showing advertisers only reaching households 1 to 2 times a month. Forget about all of the data, the studies, and the marketing jargon for just a second, and think about the reality of how most streamers consume content. Think about some of the big advertisers like insurance companies or pharmaceuticals. They're reaching streamers multiple times in the same program. Do you think an ad that gets served 1 to 2 times a month is gonna stick out? Or consider how often you think the viewer pays attention to every ad that airs. Think about how often they pull out their phone, use the restroom, grab some food. If you're only hitting that household 1 to 2 times a month, is anyone even seeing the ad, let alone remembering it? I could go on and on and on, but I think you get the point. So if you're wondering why your CTV campaign isn't performing, one of the first things you should check is your frequency, and don't be surprised when you find out it's far too low. But don't worry, I'm not just here to tell you why your CTV campaigns aren't working. I'm here to do at least my best to try and help too. So here's a few tips and tricks to better understand your frequency and even try to fix it too. First, understand exactly how your provider is reporting frequency. Are they reporting it via IP address or device ID? IP address is more likely to be cumulative for the entire household, while some households may have multiple device IDs in the same household. Ensure you know exactly what time frame your frequency is being reported over. Some providers may try to address their poor frequency by skewing the data a little bit to make it look better. Like for example, reporting a rolling average or reporting the frequency for the cumulative campaign, not for a specific time frame. So if your vendor is doing either of those things, ask them to break the frequency numbers out by week or by month so you can better understand exactly how often the viewers are seeing your ad. And if they say they can't do it, they have no idea what they're talking about, and you should probably just find a new vendor. Once you've got a good grasp on your frequency numbers and you've still decided that you need to raise it, don't overcomplicate things. Remember, your frequency equals your impressions divided by your reach. So you have 2 ways to raise your frequency. You can increase the number of impressions by raising your budget, or you can reduce the amount of people you reach. While your provider should know how to reduce your reach with ease, if not, here are a few things you can do. First, reduce your geo. If you're targeting the whole state, target the DMA. If you're targeting the DMA, reduce it to your top zip codes. And remember, you can use the data from your active campaign to help you determine what your top zip codes are. Second, you can refine your audience targeting. You can layer on an additional audience segment or choose from a number of other segments from different providers that may just inherently have less users in the pool. Third, you can restrict your inventory sources. By removing certain apps or publishers, you should be able to remove the amount of users you're reaching but ensure you're looking at the unique or incremental reach of any app or publisher before you remove it to ensure you're actually reducing your reach rather than just reaching the same users more often on less channels. And last but not least, you can increase the amount of retargeting you do. Every time an impression is served, a provider can capture the device ID or IP address for the household that they've reached. Then you can create a specific targeting segment that only reaches the households you've already served. Thus, if you allocate more budget to just target those households, you can inherently reach less new households and increase your frequency. And if your provider looks at you like you're crazy after making these suggestions, it's probably time to find a new provider, like us at Enduro, for example. Or if you just want to learn more, stay tuned for part number 2, where we review even more data and talk about why so many CTV campaigns are spread way too thin. You won't want to miss it. And until then, keep streaming with clarity, friends.